everybody, and welcome to the Inconsolables. I'm Thunderbase, and here is...
I'm Calgar. Hello.
Hello, how are you today, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. How about you?
I'm tired from work. Been a little bit sick this morning, but I'm over it now. It's all good, all good.
You're always tired from work.
Yeah, what the fuck is up in the carpet? Whatever.
What?
Yeah, I'm rubbing my... What the fuck is that?
Alright, whatever.
Yeah, random. Anyway, what have you been up to?
Lots of stuff. We have a million things to talk about this week. It's just I suppose it's the main release season, so there's always going to be a lot of news. But
There is too many games coming out. I've spent too much money. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 is coming out, I believe, tomorrow in Australia, which is annoying because I want to buy it. I do believe this. If you like Dragon Ball Z and if you like Xenoverse, that it's a must buy.
yeah.
That's from me playing the demo. But yeah, I'm just like, I want to buy it, but I've got World of Final Fantasy on Friday as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to pass on Xenoverse 2 for now, and then there's World of Final Fantasy I'm unsure about. But there was also, there was Civ 6 last week. There's, what else?
Let's chat about Civ 6 for a little bit, shall we? Because we had some experience playing this game.
Well, before...
Try to Yeah, okay, fine.
Well, I was going to say, before we get into that, I do want to address the thing I was talking about last week. A far inferior game to Civilization 6, but we did talk about it, and I want to update something. So I talked about not enjoying Paladins. That has not changed. However, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week or whether it was something I put on the Facebook or whatever, but I thought that I was being matched up with absolute noobs, or that I was just magically amazing and found a game that I was so skilled at that it's ridiculous, but I'm quitting because reasons. Turns out that Paladins, you're forced into bot matches for the first 5 levels, and you don't actually get to play against humans at all. So when I thought I was playing really well, I was being matched up against bots that had names like humans. However,
I just want to ask a question: like, how fast do you level up those first 5 levels? Do you know?
Well, I had 3 games and I was level 2, maybe very close to level 3, if not 3. So you get through it quite quickly.
Because I'm going to say that would be annoying for anyone that is competent with first-person shooters. Like, even if you don't know all the skills of the champions, like hardcore gamers or just people that play a lot of first-person shooters would pick it up very quickly, and that would be annoying if you're stuck playing bots for too long.
Yeah, see, I don't know how that works. What really irks me about it is that I didn't find out until a week later, and I didn't find out from in the game. I haven't gone back to Paladins.
Okay, so how'd you find out?
My girlfriend was watching a video on Paladins comparing it to Overwatch, funnily enough, and they've gone, "Wow, I am the best player at Paladins ever." And then he's just kind of shown up a wiki page that's like, "Oh, so I was playing against bots that whole time. Let's go play against humans." And so he leveled up to 5 and then stopped humans. But the point there is that there's nowhere in the game that tells you that you're in bot matches, or that you're going to bot matches, or there's nothing that's like play bot match or play human match or anything like that. The UI, like, it just reinforces a point I made last week, where the UI is absolute dog's balls. I can't check what my abilities are in game like any other game that has skills. I can't, so I have to go to the champion select before going into the game and try to memorize the champ I want to play, which is all well and good, except that more than likely I'm not going to get to play that champ. And then, like, even this, I didn't know that I was playing bot matches while I was playing the game. So it's like, put this stuff in your game. It's just basic user friendliness.
Yeah, well, it sounds like some good critique they should consider to update their game with.
Yeah, I might jump onto like their forums or something and point that out. And I mean, who knows if they'll take any notice? But I mean, I'm not the only person who's been blindsided by this. It was just the other guy on YouTube who was. Apparently, Jim Sterling caught the same thing too. So it seems to be a pretty widespread belief that you start playing and you're playing against humans, and it's like, wait a minute, no, I'm not, and the game won't tell you this.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous. So that's my rage at a game I don't like and never going back to.
Fair enough.
Now a game I
So
do like and we're going back to.
let's talk about Civ 6 because we both bought that on release day. We tried to make a video of it, but we ended up scrapping it because it ended up being too boring, in my opinion.
Oh well, you were right. The thing with Civilization is it's a very slow paced game, and unless there's a lot of conversation going on while during it, then it's not going to make for an entertaining video. So if it was streaming it, then perhaps it would have worked because we'd have been talking with each other as well as anyone who was watching, like just watch chat. As it was, we had 3 hours of footage, not a lot of banter because we weren't particularly willing to talk about what we were doing because we were against each other. And yeah,
But most of the time was me complaining, not knowing what the hell I was doing because I haven't played that many Civilization games. I played a few, mainly when my dad used to play it a lot, wake me up 1 a.m. in the morning to play it. Oh, that was the days. But yeah, so it was a big learning point for me. I think I picked up the basics of it quickly, but like even I've played a few hours now, and yeah, I can do a lot of stuff now, but I'm still can't. How can I put it? What's the word?
win.
Yeah, that. Especially when barbarians constantly attack me with along with the NPCs.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we had our game last week, I was getting stomped by barbarians the whole time, and once I finally put a stop to them, like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to focus on my civilization and taking up a bit on the more peaceful things, the way I actually wanted to play. And then I finally found some other things because I was just placed on a random barren island, so I didn't really have a lot of resources to work with either. But I'd survived that barbarian invasion, and then more barbarians came.
Yeah, I don't know. These barbarians are very aggressive in this version.
Yeah,
Like,
they're a lot tougher now than they were before. Like there was a mode in the earlier games that's called Rampaging Barbarians, which they would just stomp. This seems to be not quite that difficulty, but definitely higher than they were before.
and I think the barbarians, like, I swear I noticed them rebuilding their spawn points. Like, you know how they've got their villages. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I've seen those things respawn.
yeah. Well, what happens is if you've got, and this has happened in prior games as well, but it seems to happen more quickly now. But
Yeah,
if you have part of the map that's just under fog of war, they can spawn villages there
right.
because it's effectively unexplored, so they can just crop up in pockets and surprise you. And that's what happened to me with my second barbarian outburst.
It's really nuts. I had a game where pretty much I was getting attacked by the barbarians, and I'm struggling to hold these guys off, and then suddenly the other nation above me, I think the Conga, decided to attack me as well. And
Oh
it's like,
no.
what the hell? And my civilization was founded in the middle of four other civilizations.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there going, barbarians, what are you doing? You've had to walk past these other guys to get to me. Get lost.
Wow. So it seems like there might be a bit of patching and updating that they need to do. But for the most part, the game, aside from, I'm not sure if it's balance issues or whether it's just we're bad at the game. I know I'm bad at the game.
I'm gonna say I'm bad at the game.
Well, yeah, it's probably some balance issues regardless. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun regardless. So,
However, yeah, the game, like, I'm complaining about the game a lot, but it is actually really good, and I think probably the best civilization I've played.
yeah, no, it's definitely better. It's definitely better than 5 and Beyond Earth. Now, as far as 4 is concerned, I'd have to go back and play that again to find out. But it feels like it is the strongest Civilization release in recent years.
One of the changes that I can think of off the top of my head is it has a tech tree, and the tech tree in the other games used to have your well, they call them civics in this game, but the like your government and policy stuff in the science tree in the previous games.
Yeah.
But now they've split that up where they now track as two different things. So you can now build your policies up at the same time as you're researching technology.
Yeah, and it uses your culture to research your policies rather than your science, which makes more sense. It's like, well, I'm going to research in a lab how to found a religion. That makes no sense whatsoever. So they keep the sort of technological, research the wheel, learn how to build a watermill, learn how to forge weapons and stuff to science, and then the more sort of cultural, artsy, religion, spiritual stuff and political stuff to the culture side. So it's sort of a much more sensible split.
Another new thing, which I actually really like as well, is the Eureka system.
Yes. Well, I think
Yep.
let's leave that for the time being because I have recorded a video that I'm going to put up this week which explains all of this stuff. So,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, after our 3-hour playing session ended up being not particularly entertaining, I went and recorded a shorter session which just shows the early stages and how the game works and explains it, which I feel would be a lot more entertaining than 3 hours of us going, I don't know what I'm doing. Why are my barbarians eating me?
Why can't I build swords? You need iron. Where's iron?
I had iron.
I had none.
Yeah, I had iron, but I wasn't building swords because I didn't research the iron working because I wanted to be a peaceful civilization, and the only soldier stuff I'd done was to deal with the barbarians.
I wanted my samurai, and I could not get them.
Yeah, that's right. You were Japan.
Yeah, like I've played a few others, and Japan seems like the country I still like playing the most.
Yeah, fair enough.
They got a good balance on some military stuff. Like they get bonuses for fighting near the coast, so I kind of like that. What else did they get? They get the Samurai Warrior, which is a good medieval unit, which does it like when your units take damage, you lose units because they're basically they're like a squad, and as you lose health, you lose men in that squad.
Yeah.
But the Samurai don't take. And when you lose members in that squad, your damage goes down because you lost men. The Samurai don't take that minus in damage when they lose men.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, they actually retain their full damage no matter how low their health is.
So they just fight harder, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's that's them anyway.
Oh, well, fair enough. Well, I think we should move on to the news stuff because there's some big news this week, some of which is interesting, some of which really I don't care about. But we've got a lot of that, and we can go back into talking about other games we played at the end. We'll sandwich the news with our gaming experiences.
Okie dokie, Loki.
So let's start with a very short one-note one.
One note?
Well, it's a one-liner really. StarCraft 2 is getting a new announcer voice pack added during BlizzCon, and it is of D.Va from Overwatch.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen that on the Blizz launch BattleNet thing. They're not calling it BattleNet, but it's Blizz.
Blizzard Services.
Blizzard
Yeah.
Services.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, story-wise, D.Va is a pro StarCraft player, and so she should be an announcer pack. And she's one of the more popular characters. Blizzard are going to print money with that. Now,
Winky face.
Winky face. Oh, yeah, they're making it a BlizzCon exclusive purchase only for a while, and then I think it was a month or two down the track, everyone else is going to get it. And I mean, I haven't even played StarCraft 2 yet. I will be playing it for the first time against you at some point, I believe.
Yeah, I'm actually installing it right now.
Well,
it's also because I heard, because I haven't been playing StarCraft 2 for a while, I actually need to get back into it to finish it, because I finished both, what was the first one called? God damn it. Anyway, StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, and I need to get Void of whatever it's called. Wow, that's how long it's been.
Void of whatever it's called. Okay.
That's how long it's been since I played StarCraft 2. I don't remember the names of the freaking expansions now.
Well, there we go.
This is terrible. But yeah, no, I'm updating it, and last I heard, they added a new game mode for co-op play.
In StarCraft?
In campaign or something. I need to look it up, but there's something to do with co-op play.
Oh dear.
And apparently it's doing really well.
Huh, okay.
But yeah, this is stuff I started hearing when I started listening to Total Biscuit recently.
Fair enough.
Total Biscuit is still really heavy into his StarCraft too. He does. Face. Yeah, well, he's one of the few casters left still on YouTube. A lot of the old casters have apparently left. Like I used to look at Husky, for example. Apparently he's gone.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just there's some really good casters that used to be on YouTube, and I'm assuming they just moved on.
Have they moved on? What have they moved on to, though? Have they gone to, like, Overwatch or to League, or...?
One guy in particular that Total Biscuit mentioned was they moved over to Overwatch. But one of the other news, just randomly, that I heard from him is apparently the StarCraft 2 esports scene in Korea has basically died.
Really?
I need to do more research into it. I think StarCraft is probably still really going, but StarCraft 2, from what I remember hearing from Total Biscuit, is they shut down all the teams.
Whoa, that's ridiculous. What the hell?
Yeah.
What, have they all gone to Overwatch, or...?
I'm not sure, but...
Back to StarCraft 1.
Well, you got a lot more popular ones, like League of Legends as well, Overwatch.
Yeah, but League of Legends and Overwatch are completely different to StarCraft. You've got an RTS versus a MOBA and a hero shooter. I mean, there's room for all three. Yeah,
well, they might still be playing StarCraft 1, but yeah, I'm just not 100% sure. I just remember Total Biscuit saying that there was an announcement in Korea where they were shutting down a section, like it was pretty much all the teams in this section. So I don't know if it's the entire scene, or like I just said, he was really surprised when they announced all of them.
That's weird, yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, just don't take my word for the whole story. But yeah, something has happened where StarCraft 2 just isn't holding up in Korea.
Okay.
As an esports.
Well, I heard Overwatch was getting really big in Korea, so it may be that Blizzard have kind of cannibalized their own sales.
The problem with StarCraft 2 staying as an esports, like I love StarCraft 2 when it first came out as an esports. Like, I watched it a lot. I went to the tournaments and just like how I did with League of Legends.
Yeah.
But the problem with StarCraft 2 is it wasn't constantly updating and changing like these other ones do. Like Overwatch has given us a good stream of new characters or new maps or new content to keep us interested. And same with League of Legends, it's changing all the time.
I'm not sure you could really call Overwatch a steady stream of new stuff, though, because there's been one new champion and map since release. I mean, it's only been a few months, but it's nowhere near as high octane as League of Legends, where in the same time, you've probably seen 3 or 4 champions and a bunch of balance changes, and
you gotta remember, Overwatch is in its infancy as well, but at the same time, we've also gotten 2 events as well. We had the Olympic events and the Halloween events.
That's true, and I mean, on top of that, Overwatch is just a better game.
Subjective opinions, but anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm happy I got my Halloween skin. So
the point is this is why StarCraft 2 just has been able to hold on to its esports king title. Like it lost to League of Legends basically, but it's still relevant in some areas, but it can't hold up because it's not keeping up with the content as fast. Like it's getting some new stuff now, like I said, the co-op thing, but it just had this big period of nothing, and I think that's when all the casters started leaving because there was just nothing there to keep people interested.
Yeah,
and then League of Legends came along, and Overwatch, and CS:GO, even Hearthstone. Hearthstone people enjoy watching.
Blizzard are totally cannibalizing their own sales over and over again, then, aren't they? If we've got StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone and Overwatch all as sort of esporty stuff, it's like they've got all of these games that they're running. It's madness.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the little bit of news I did hear off on the side as I was listening to Total Biscuit's podcast.
Fair enough.
So, the co-optional podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to go listen to it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely interesting to see how that stuff goes. I mean, I do want to see a lot more Overwatch esports because, as far as watching it's concerned, I mean, I like watching the League esports stuff, but I understand Overwatch a lot more probably because I actively play it. I mean, I had a few games of League last night, but I'm not nearly at a level of competence that I feel like I am in Overwatch. And watching Overwatch, I understand pretty much everything that's going on, while League, there's more than 100 characters. It's like, what's... Okay, you only see like 12 of them in pro play, but Overwatch you see almost all of the cast, and it's not purely by virtue of having a smaller cast. It's a lot more balanced. It's sort of Symmetra is kind of one of the few characters you don't see, you know.
Well, even then, like the only reason why we don't see it is because she's very contextual. Is that the right word to say? Like she's only good
situational, similar.
Situational. That's what I wanted. That's a better word. Situational. Yes.
So welcome to Calgar Teaches English to Thundermace.
Yes, yes.
um, but yeah, it's just, it feels like, I think part of it is Overwatch is a lot faster paced. I mean, I've been watching some random esports clips that have been popping up on my Facebook feed the other day, and they're all a lot of fun to watch in Overwatch. There was a great one where there was a pro team on Volskaya Industries, which is very much a you
Oh,
hunker down and defend the map.
is this what I
And
think it is? Is this
if
what I think
it's
it is?
if you're thinking of the Bastion cheese, yeah,
Yes, yes. I think I shared that on Facebook. That
yeah,
was funny to watch. I was just like, this guy's going in, just going. I don't think I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's like everyone's gonna hate me for this as well. Let's just go. And I think you just watch it and just like, oh my god, this is working. The pro teams just weren't expecting this to like, happen because it's like you don't do it in the pro scene because there's so much cheese.
yeah. It's not much.
But
It's not much of a
and because
description there, but
sorry, just to also go along, like it's not that the pro teams can't fight against it. It's just that they all know how to fight against it, so they never use that technique, that strategy.
yeah,
But because
and
it's been so long since anyone's actually used the strategy, when it finally pops up, it's a surprise. And this was the last few seconds of the match as well.
yeah, and the thing is, you have to be in your spawn point or dead to be able to change heroes. So they couldn't change to counter it because they just didn't have the time. So it was great. Basically, it was a very cheesy maneuver. I will put a link to the video in the show notes. It was basically Bastion, who can turn into just an immobile turret and put out stupid amounts of damage, sitting on a moving platform in this area and doing that on attack so that they could clear the defenders off the point and then capture it. It's sort of the sort of thing that only works in sort of scrubby quick play, but it worked in a pro match as just a last ditch effort for something that would be unexpected. And yeah, it worked. It's I got salty watching that because it's sort of kind of strategy that's so cheesy that I hate, but at the same time I loved it that it worked.
Oh
It
my!
was beautiful.
What's with Blizzard games and creating like these really cheesy just things that everyone like the Bastion and the Zerg Rush and like
Oh
I
well,
don't know.
there's cheese in every game anyway.
It's cheesy in
It's
every
just how you
game,
deal
yeah,
with it.
yeah. But I guess they create the more they create the more memorable ones.
Well,
But that's
yeah,
because
and I mean,
they're popular.
if you look at Dark Souls, Pyromancy is considered cheese because it's just stupidly strong. Not so much in 3, but you
He
know,
got nerfed.
yeah, it got nerfed. But a lot of stuff got nerfed in 3 actually. But let's not get into Dark Souls. We'll probably talk about that next week because the expansion to Dark Souls 3 comes out this week. So,
Oh fuck off! Not another thing that I need to buy.
well, my worry is that
Oh,
I've already got a season pass for it. But my concern is I need to get a character to the point where he's going to be able to get into it. I don't want to use my first character because he doesn't have any health. But let's move on. Let's move on from that. Did you have any news you wanted to talk about before I moved on to something else?
I think I did, but I've forgotten.
Okay,
What
I
was
was gonna
it?
say we went for a
Alright.
while off a one-liner.
Yeah.
What about stuff that has substance to it?
No.
Okay, well
No, let's just continue on.
well
We've
there
pretty much
are
got the same things for us this week anyway,
yeah.
both of us.
Well, I'll go
La,
for
la, la.
one of the bigger ones.
Yep.
So last week, before we recorded, there was some little teasers and hints that Rockstar put out about a new Red Dead Redemption game. We chose not
Yeah.
to talk about it because, well, A, it was just a picture that they put on Twitter, and B, we weren't overly interested in it.
Well, what was funny was all the photoshops afterwards.
Oh, the
Like,
memes were real. That was great.
Yeah, even Square Enix jumped in and put down their Nero. Is it Nero? I've forgotten their names because I haven't thought about them for a while. Noctis.
Yeah,
See,
they put the Final
my
Fantasy 15 guys there, the 4 bros.
that was cool, but yeah, I suck at remembering names. If I'm not actively doing it every day, I forget.
Well, there was also Namco put in the Tales of one of the Tales of casts into the silhouettes. Someone photoshopped table tennis bats into the hands of all the silhouettes. that made me happy.
I saw one particular one where they're just all penises.
Oh, of course. And anyway, so since then, I mean, if you're following games, you've probably heard of this, and if you haven't heard this, then, well, let me be the one to tell you that Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced, it's a thing, it's real, and it has a trailer. The trailer reveals fuck all.
yeah, it's just a little teaser trailer just to show, yes, it is a real thing. You will be playing Cowboys again.
Yeah, see, they said trailer coming Friday or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, we're getting a trailer. When you say trailer, I expect a couple of minutes and some gameplay and maybe some story stuff. No, what they put out wasn't a trailer; it was a teaser. There's a difference. It was like 30 seconds and it showed environments and some horses and a couple of random NPCs who did nothing. Just sitting there. There's a bit of voiceover, and I was just as interested in this game after that trailer as I was before, which is to say, not really interested.
Alright, calm down there.
What do you mean, calm down? I'm not.
Calm down. It's okay.
I'm just not interested. I'm not angry that it exists. I'm happy for the people who have been clamoring for this sequel for ages. I just don't care. I didn't play the first one. People keep telling me it's the second coming of Christ in video game form. And then I look at it and all I see is GTA plus Cowboys. And I haven't enjoyed a Rockstar game since GTA Vice City.
I'm sorry, the second coming of Christ was Final Fantasy VII.
What? We're talking about that was the first one. well, actually, that'd be Final Fantasy VI. But looking at like Red Dead Redemption, people people going off nuts about it. I look at it and like, okay, it's. All I can see is Wild West GTA, and people tell me it's not just that, but then don't elaborate on it. So I find it hard to get excited over this.
Yeah, no. I have played Red Dead Redemption, and it is a very good Western game, like a game set in the West, and it's probably it is the best one you can find if you want to play a game about being a cowboy and living in the Wild Wild West. That's the game that you want to go play.
If you want to play I would actually contest that. If you want to play a game about being a cowboy, then look at Call of Juarez. Those games are sick.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's a first-person shooter, and you're a cowboy in the Wild Wild West. There is one of them that is like modern times, and it's shit, don't bother. But particularly Call of Juarez Gunslinger, take a look at that. It's a lot of fun. First-person shooter, ridiculous, Wild West. It's a lot of fun. And it's also really cheap, because I think it's like a semi-indie game price. I think it might have been $20 or something.
Anyway, funny enough that...
basically a perfect game.
Right. Funny enough that you said that it's basically GTA in the West, because they are bringing in their GTA Online service for this, but it's going to be obviously Red Dead Redemption Online.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to call it, because GTA Online sounds good, but what are they going to call this one? It's like RDRO? Online? RDRO? I don't know.
Well, I think they did call it Red Dead Redemption Online or something. They may come up with a newer name for it, but
yeah, you're going to have that online feature just like in GTA 5, which I know a lot of people like, and I guess this will be just as good, but yeah, like Rockstar, you can't deny they make pretty good games.
Well, I don't know. See, the issue I have is I didn't enjoy GTA 5.
Yeah, that's just a subjective opinion,
though.
Well,
that's the thing. I mean, on a technical level, yes, the game was huge. It worked. It did have glitches, but so does every game. On a technical level, impressive, yes. On a quality level, I haven't enjoyed a Rockstar game since Vice City.
Yeah, I don't know. As I said, I think it the numbers prove it. It's still very popular, and it's sold really well. So it is pretty much it is a really good game, and I've played it. I really do enjoy it. I think it's probably is one of the best GTA's for a while. Even though my favorite probably is Vice City.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I did. I'm not saying I had no fun with GTA 5, but it's just, I don't know. It felt to me for the most part that GTA lost its fun factor to me since Vice City. Vice City was very tongue-in-cheek, it was silly, and I think part of it is the world wasn't nearly as big as the games that followed it. Because San Andreas was the next game, and I bought that immediately, going, I'm gonna love this game. I like GTA, and then I played it, and I'm like, this world's too big. There's too much stuff for me to do, and I'm not interested in any of it. And this was before I was this is long before I've got my current bout of open world fatigue, right? This was when open world was still an interesting and fresh thing that you would only really get in GTA, and maybe Saints Row, but that was before Saints Row got good. So Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then I went to GTA 4, and at that point, I played that for maybe 2 hours and gone, no, it's sort of very much lost a sense of fun, because that was about the point that Rockstar tried to take GTA in a more serious direction. And that's not what I was looking for. I wanted this silly stuff. And that's about the time Saints Row 3 appeared in my life and blew GTA out of the water.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed San Andreas, but GTA 4, yeah, I got bored halfway through it. I never finished that one. Like that one, yeah, I agree. They did try to take it too seriously.
Let's put it this way. I traded in GTA 4. No, sorry. Yeah, no, it was 4. GTA 4 with Niko Bellic and his cousin. I traded that game in for FIFA Street. For a soccer game.
Right, soccer game.
And I had more fun with the soccer game.
How can you have fun with a soccer game?
Because A, soccer's awesome. B, FIFA Street, it's the street soccer game, so it was an entire game like the with the trick soccer and kicking the ball off walls and stuff. It was a lot more fun than your standard soccer game.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with soccer being fun.
Fair enough.
Soccer is sports and it's evil.
Well, I wouldn't play a normal FIFA game nowadays, that's for sure. But FIFA Street, that particular one, was really good because you did all the tricksy stuff. Like, it looks like that Nike commercial, which had the Elvis remix, where they were playing soccer on the boat and just doing all the trick shots and stuff. You were able to do a lot of that in-game, and I had so much fun. And I enjoyed that much more than I did GTA 4.
Right.
I stand by my decision.
Fair enough. While we're on the subject of GTA 5, let's talk about some mods.
Yes. Yes.
So a mod came out that pretty much turns the sticky bomb into a Samsung Galaxy Note 7. So you can throw a Galaxy Note 7 and it blows up.
Yeah. It made me so happy to watch. It was just funny.
So why this piece of news is particularly interesting is that Samsung actually came up and copyright claimed? It was copyright claimed, right? They did a strike on the video.
Yeah, they put a strike. Not just it was one video out of a bunch of videos that were showcasing the mod.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, they've come out, they've done a strike on this video, and I think a couple of days later, I don't know how long it was, YouTube has come in and stepped in and gone, no, this is fine. And they've restated the video.
Well, yeah, there's nothing in that Samsung can get on copyright. It's their phone that explodes in real life, doing what it does in GTA.
However,
it's not their content. It's not their mod. It's not their game. It's not their video. It is just, using a phone that looks like theirs.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they could argue that, yeah, it's using their phone, like a model of their phone. However, this is under fair use as a parody.
Yeah, and on top of that, the phone looked generic enough to be away from it. Everyone knows that it's meant to be a parody of the Note 7 because it's a phone that explodes. But
it clearly has Samsung printed on it.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it does. So it's not just a generic phone that they go, haha, this is it, and they throw it. No, it clearly has Samsung written on the phone.
Okay, fair enough, but it is still fair use. I mean, as you said, they shouldn't have done this in the first place. What they should have done is spent that time and money and resources on making phones that don't explode. And then the ones that do explode, replacing those with phones that don't explode, as opposed to replacing them with more phones that explode.
Yeah, from what I understand, I think they've had two callbacks. One for the exploding phones and the other one I don't know at all.
Yeah, no, that other one was for... Okay, so there was a few callbacks. They put out the phones that were exploding when charged.
Yeah.
And then they recalled those and replaced them with ones that didn't. Except that those replacements did explode as well. And they also God. And on top of that, they also had a series of washing machines that exploded. So, Samsung, get your shit together.
Oh my god, that's so good. My washing machine. Ah!
Yeah, I want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure it was exploding Yeah, no, it was Samsung washing machines exploding. It's like, so not only is it their phones, but think about that. That washing machine has exploded with all of your clothes in them.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Not just that, your very flammable clothing, which can now very easily extend to the rest of the house.
Well, I like to think, I'm hoping that there's water in there at the time, because it's a washing machine.
Electrical fires. Water doesn't help that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But on top of that, right? Like, okay, that's a problem for a house, right? So your house burns down. But then take it to the next level. What if you've got an apartment building, right, with like a shared washing area?
Oh
That happens
gosh.
frequently enough. Say Newtown or something where there isn't that much space and it's all put together. A lot of them don't even have a laundry, but you've got ones that do. A shared area or whatever. What if that happens to be a Samsung washing machine that explodes and the entire apartment building block goes up?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
just really dark now.
It starts hilarious until you think of the repercussions, and I don't know what
Yeah.
Samsung did to reimburse people. And
I don't want to think about it anymore.
I think that it's a problem, and they should fix it. And I don't know what they've done about it. So let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's go from doom and gloom to doom.
Sweet. I was just playing this like 10 minutes ago. Was it 10 minutes ago? How long would we be recording for?
Like 40.
Okay, so 40 minutes ago, I was playing. No, so Doom has gotten some updates. Please tell us, Calgar.
So they've added an arcade mode. I've not played the arcade mode. You have. You can talk about that in a minute. The other one that interested me is Snap Map. They added the textures from the original Doom to it. So you can make levels that look like they're from Doom 1.
Yes!
Now, to be fair, you could already do that with, Doom 1, Doom 2, and all those WAD files. But now you can do it with Snap Map and with the new Doom features. So because if you went back and played the new Doom levels, in new Doom you can unlock classic Doom levels with the textures and the layouts and everything. You still had the new features, so you could still have your glory kills, getting your health back, and all that kind of stuff with the old looking levels. Now you can make those levels in Snap Map, which also works for people who don't know how to do old school Doom stuff, because that's a bit more involved than clicking some boxes and putting them together like Snap Map does. Snap Map makes it really easy for anyone to build a Doom level. Now, tell me about arcade mode, because you are actually playing this. It sounds a bit hokey, but it seems like there's more to it.
Yeah, I decided to give it a go just because I was like, well, if this is going to be part of our news, I have access to it right now. Let's jump right into it. So I did, and I was surprised at how much fun it is. It actually puts a lot of life back into the campaign mode.
As if the campaign mode was boring. Campaign mode was sick.
Well, typically after you play it once, you have no real good reason. Like, you go back and have some fun with it, but you have no real good reason to go back again.
Well, yeah.
Like, you play it once, that's good enough.
Yeah, like any campaign in any shooter, really.
Yeah, really. But yeah, after hearing about arcade mode, it's like, yeah, we put score mode into it. You gain, like, points for killing things and getting headshots. And I was like, yay, what do you do? Like, who really cares much about, points, scores, and all that stuff anymore? But, jumping into it, I was surprised at how much fun I was having. Pretty much it will throw you into the level. Every level, like, depending on what level you choose. So, the first level, I've got my shotgun and my pistol. The next level, you'll get your plasma rifle and your machine gun. And pretty much as you go on, you'll get all your weapons, depending on what level you're on. So, the further...
So it gives you the weapons that belong in that level.
Yeah, essentially. But you'll have all your upgrades.
Ooh.
Everything will be unlocked for you.
That's cool.
So you're jumping in straight away, full power. And it's essentially, it's a arcade mode, but you've got your multiplayer, which will go up to a maximum of 32 times.
Yeah.
But it pretty much doubles every time, so it goes 1, 2, 4,
8, 16,
32. Yep. Picking up items boosts the multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
Like,
that's interesting.
Getting like shots, like kills, glory kills, and medals increases the score attack.
Yep.
They've got a new item that floats around, which is basically a mine. You shoot it, it explodes. I haven't tested it yet. I haven't seen if it blows you up yet. I'm not stupid enough to stay near that thing when it blows up.
I would imagine it does.
So it wipes out enemies that are near it, which will give you a multi-kill medal, which gives you a huge bonus to points, and it drops a relic, which you can pick up for even more points.
So what you're saying is it kind of takes what's already a really fast-paced shooter.
And makes it faster.
And makes it faster because you're trying to combo chain all your kills.
exactly it. And another thing is, it build as you get medals. It does something on the side where it builds up medals. And I noticed at one point that it started flashing and going and having electricity all around my medals, going, "You've got max stack of medals." So I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" And as I'm playing, eventually when I stopped comboing, like it just went okay and just compiled them all together and gave me a huge score bonus.
Oh, nice. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of fun stuff, and it is really about just getting in there and just doing everything as fast as you can. Like knowing the levels will really be helpful. You got marine dolls scattered around, and it says it gives you extra life. I don't know what it means by extra life.
Well, did you die?
Well, you saw me die when you walked in on me. You saw me die, and I didn't exactly just res
good
again.
Point. You didn't continue, but it might pick you up from a checkpoint or something and have some amount of lives.
To be fair, it did say continue from checkpoint. I didn't even bother to try that. So yeah, so okay, yeah, so you can pick up extra lives, which also gives you bonus points as well.
I guess it might be bonus points at the end for unused lives as well.
Yeah, so you gain and you can play on every difficulty on the arcade mode, which it boosts up how much score you get.
Cool.
And yeah, my first playthrough of the first level, I managed to skim in at bronze.
Bronze?
Yeah, bronze. I was nearly silver. I was like 20,000 away from silver, so that was disappointing.
Yeah, fair enough.
But compared to my friends list, I was somehow number one on my friends list. I was like, this isn't right. No, seriously, looking at my friends list, I have all these people that are in a 17,000 range on the leaderboard, and they have 9,000 points.
Yeah.
And then I'm in 3,500 something with 900,000 points.
Oh,
and it's like,
geez.
I'm like, okay, what's going on here? This is my first time playing on the arcade mode, and I've somehow got this huge, it's not even, it's an overwhelmingly different amount of score, 9,000 to 900,000.
So
what's happened here?
Either they were doing something very wrong, or you were doing something very right.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is they played it once and they went at a slow pace and just they carefully shot things where I just went, okay, this is arcade mode. I need to get in there and just fucking rack up the scores.
Play it like a fucking arcade game.
Yeah, so I just went nuts with it. I tried to make sure to keep that score up. I actually kept up the max modifier for over 2 minutes. I kept it up more than I did any of the other score modifiers.
That would have helped.
So I did quite well for my first little run through.
Cool. Well, that sounds that's like a good thing. It's pretty good that they're supporting their game this long after release, and not just with multiplayer maps and modes and stuff. They added deathmatch the other day as well, I think.
Yeah, they had some new modes.
Which free for all deathmatch feels like something that should have been there from the start, to be honest. But it looks like they were working on the more interesting, weird modes first. So I don't know. I don't play the multiplayer on that, because when I play a multiplayer shooter, it's going to be Overwatch.
I think they had and one of the new modes is Prowler versus Marines. So I think you can play as one side's demons, the other side's the humans.
Okay.
Sounds interesting. But yeah, these updates are free, of course. So arcade mode is free. I'm pretty sure the textures are free, and I think there's 2 game modes might be free. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah,
but I know they also announced. I know they announced the DLC with the Kappa Demon. I think as a playable multiplayer demon.
Yeah, I know that. Did you say Capra Demon?
Is it Capra? Kappa?
The Capra Demon is from Dark Souls, dude. Are you thinking the Cyber Demon?
No, I'm thinking of the one that's based on the Beholder.
Oh, Kako Demon.
Kako.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, I know that there was a season pass, which I refused to buy because, it was entirely multiplayer. I'm like, well, Overwatch is coming out, and I will play that more. But, I mean, by this point, I've played much more time on Overwatch than Doom, but I've just sort of played Doom through the campaign, and then a little bit of multiplayer, while Overwatch just kind of endures, so...
Doom is really nice, though. I really do.
You want a single player, that is definite contender for Game of the Year for me.
Definitely. So, if you have not picked up Doom yet, freaking, what are you doing? Go pick up that fucking piece of fucking... I don't know how to finish that sentence. Just pick it up.
But, yeah, get the new Doom unless you're younger than 18, in which case wait till
Pick
you're
it up
18.
anyway. You just ignore your parents, go behind their back, you pick it up.
No, wait till you're 18, then make that the first thing you buy.
What if you're in the States? What happens if you're in the States? That's still illegal, man.
I'm not sure.
Drinking
Drinking age
21.
is 21, but restricted age for violent games might not be. I don't
Okay,
know.
I don't know. Whatever. I live in Australia. I'm here.
Hi, Americans,
18.
if there are any of you listening.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, maybe. There might be.
I don't know. Hello.
G'day. Anyway, let's get on to the biggest news this week, shall we?
I know what this is. This is the thing I got up for at 1 a.m., isn't it?
Yeah, see, I got up at a dumb hour that night for a different reason, in that I was ill. But
Oh.
I got to see the aftermath of the reveal. The Nintendo NX, or what we should say, the Nintendo Switch.
About time they finally announced it, though.
Yeah, and it came out really quickly. It was like, oh, we're going to talk about the NX tomorrow. Wait, what?
Yeah, kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, yeah, tomorrow. Whoa.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I sit there and go, I think I'm a Nintendo fanboy because Nintendo is the only system I seem to get all giddy about.
Well, let's be honest. I'm pretty happy with what they've released. Well, what they looks like anyway. I mean, I do have my questions and concerns, but I want one, and I was gonna go pre-order it, and then I decided against it because I'll pre-order it when I go take in some more 360 games to trade in.
Yeah, I'll pre-order it once they actually announce, a release date and price date. It's funny, you know what I keep seeing over the internet? And it's like, oh, look at the Switch's price point, $999 in Australia. That's ridiculous. And a lot of people are quick to point out, it's like, that's the placeholder price, you moron.
It even says it in big letters on EB's site. Placeholder price will update when released, because Nintendo have not said anything about the price.
Yeah, I don't know if I had someone on Twitter point this out, and I'm just going, I'm pretty sure that's the placeholder price.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's back up a bit, because there might be someone who didn't look at the Switch. So the Switch is pretty much what a lot of the, well, I was going to say leaks, a lot of what the speculation, I think there were leaks, but a lot of what the speculation was pointing towards, which is a console which hooks up to your TV and then can decouple from it and become a handheld as well.
So it's essentially, imagine the Wii U with detachable controllers on the side and not limited to 3 meters or whatever from your system.
Yeah, it's like the little pad thing is actually the console. The dock thing is just what attaches it to the TV and maybe provides some extra power if they're up-resing stuff or upscaling.
Yeah. From what I heard, when it's plugged into the TV, like into the station, it will run at 1020 p. Sorry, 1080.
1080p.
What is it?
1020p isn't a thing.
I know. That's what I went 1080p, and it'll run at 720p on the tablet.
That's not a bad resolution for a tablet.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. Like, whew. I'm pretty sure the Wii U is like 480. I think.
Yeah, I think some of the iPads can run at 1080 on the tablet, but it is built entirely to do that. Well, this one, I mean, you don't necessarily need the highest resolution graphics portable anyway, and even if you do have it portable, that doesn't mean you're going to succeed. I mean, look at the Vita.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another way to just look at this. Imagine having your tablet that is your actual gaming console, and that you can put onto a station and it'll go straight to your TV.
Yeah, it's kind of what I wanted. Like, they advertised this kind of seamless transition thing with the Vita, and they didn't deliver. So I'm hoping Nintendo. That's one of the concerns I have. It's like, will the transition from it playing on the dock on your TV to it playing just in handheld mode be as instant as it was in that trailer? Because that was like absolutely instant. You wouldn't even need to pause the game, right? I'm not sure they're going to pull that off, and if they do, then fuck yeah.
Well, I can't see it being too much. Like, they pretty much already tested it with their Wii U. I can't see it being too much difficult, that much different from what they do with the Wii U, where you press a button and it'll switch to your Wii U controller from your TV.
Yeah, but well, the difference is changing from the Wii U controller to the TV. That's just changing the output. It's not changing really the resolution of the thing, because it is still being controlled by the Wii U console itself. In this case, you're going from a dock that is upscaling your graphics for you and providing that little bit of extra oomph to something that's downscaled, and more importantly, the other direction. So, like, will the dock need a moment to warm up when you plug it back into the TV?
You know,
I don't know.
even
Either way, that's not a showstopper. It's not like I need it to be instantaneous.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't care if it takes a couple of seconds or like half a minute or whatever, as long as like it does what it's supposed to do, like what it shows, where I can unplug it and then go play somewhere else. Like, I wouldn't mind being able to unplug it and go relax in another room, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that really impressed. Like, that's the thing, though, is if it is as instantaneous as it looked in the thing, then that's just gonna feel really nice. You know, it's one of those things that's like, it's not a showstopper if it doesn't do that, but if it does do that, it's just so much nicer.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's just, mwah, this is beautiful. But the one that actually concerns me is battery life.
Yeah, so from what we've been hearing, 3 hours?
Yeah, if it's 3 hours, not good enough.
Yeah, not for a portable device anyway. Like, people complained about the Wii U controller being having poor battery life, and for me, I just went, I'm playing this majority of time in my room. I'll just keep it plugged in.
Yeah, I mean that's what the Wii U's for. It's connected, but the Switch is designed to be taken with you and played somewhere. I mean, one of the first things where they showed that in the trailer was the guy getting onto a plane and and playing it. So, you know, not every flight is under 3 hours. In fact, more often than not, it's longer than 3 hours. Plus, you'll be playing it in the airport because you're waiting for your flight or it gets delayed or something. If it's only going to last you 3 hours, then you've got to be very careful about how you're going to use that, or you're going to need some kind of portable battery thing like everyone bought when Pokemon Go came out.
Yeah, like I guess that's a benefit of living in this type of age. We have a lot of these portable batteries now. They're not that hard to get, and they're not that expensive either.
Well,
but
we also don't know if there's a port to plug that kind of portable battery into the Switch.
And I guess that's another problem. Like, batteries just haven't gotten that good over the years. It hasn't kept up with how powerful our technology has really gotten. So it is really hard. Like, I guess 3 hours, thinking about how our battery technology is today, is a reasonable amount of time for a console. Like, basically a home console that you're taking with you. But
I still think it's
you'd still want more, definitely for
by a long shot. 3 hours is not good enough. What I would expect / want as a minimum is the 6 hours that the 3DS does. Like, think of it this way: if I go to work and say I get a slower train than usual, I've got a 40-minute train trip either way. That's an hour and a half spent on on that.
Yeah.
Right? Spend my lunch break on it. On the Switch, that's almost all of the battery life if it turns out to actually be 3 hours. And all I've done is go to work, do work, have my lunch break, do more work, go home, if I've got the slower train. If I happen to move out further away, or, I don't know, I have to get multiple trains, or, I make some other kind of trip that requires more travel, right? That's not going to hold up.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold up as a serious portable thing unless they improve on it. Now, that 3 hours was a leak, and apparently it came from an Ubisoft employee on their dev kit. So, to be honest, the dev kit may well have a weaker battery purely on the back of you would only be putting it portable to kind of just see how your games run portably, rather than doing extended play sessions. So I suspect Nintendo might be putting more effort into doing a better battery on the consumer version. On the other hand, it's coming out in March. They don't have long.
Yeah, all we can do is wait and see, I suppose. Like, I'm picking it up no matter what. Like it's got some of my favorite franchises on there: Legend of Zelda, Mario, Metroid. If they ever decide to make another one, like a proper one.
2 words: Monster Hunter.
Yes, that's a hope that, like, I know a lot of people have, is to get these games that are on the 3DS onto this system, since it's supposed to be this hybrid portable / home console.
Yeah, now there are plenty of reports saying that the Wii U and 3DS games will not run on this thing, and it is running cartridges of its own design, it seems. But they might get ported. I mean, it showed Splatoon running, it showed a new Mario game, etc., etc. I mean, I'm always keen for more Splatoon. Particularly if I don't have to do stupid motion controls to actually aim this time.
I can't remember on the Wii U Splatoon. Did we have a choice? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had a choice to use controller as well. I think.
Yeah, I think there was. I don't have like the Pro controller or whatever.
I should try that out because I did buy one eventually.
Yeah, I don't actually have my copy of Splatoon at the moment, so
Okay.
so I can't even try that. I lent it to a friend.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So 3DS games and Wii U games can't work on the Switch. It has its own cartridge system. From what we're going to gather from the trailer, I haven't heard anything official, but it looks like it will probably be 100% region free, especially if you're going to be like doing what the trailer does, where you're traveling overseas on a plane.
Well, that's the thing though. That doesn't mean that it's going to be region free. I can still play my 3DS in Japan when we went there. It doesn't make it region free. It just means I can take the games I already own and play them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just thinking like, well, you could have easily shown that it'd be mobile without showing going overseas, like going on a plane and going somewhere else. But I don't know. Like, I guess it's just wishful thinking to get region free on the Switch.
Yeah, we might get it. I mean, there's always hope, but we'll see. I mean, I think part of the reason for showing it on the plane as well, though, was the reveal that it actually has that little stand, because the plane would be a use case. The plane and tray table is a good use case while traveling to use that little stand. While if you're on a train, you're not going to get the opportunity to do that.
I suppose so. All right.
It's a really good use case for here's this stand thing, which that actually impressed me. I wasn't expecting to get a hybrid device that has a stand and detachable controllers. That's really nice.
So while we're on the detachable controllers, like obviously they're detachable, but they can also be used as two separate controllers if you're playing, like for example, Mario Kart. They showed off Mario Kart in the trailer, and those two.
Oh, and that random basketball game.
Yeah, they can actually detach those controllers and then pass one half to someone else, and you play on the other one, kind of like Wii remotes, if you remember those.
Yeah, it looks very much like a Wii remote. It's funny, I've seen some pictures where they've just photoshopped a Wii U controller and just taken the sides off it, and it's actually what those controllers kind of look like.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I also like the toaster images that people are doing, and the recolor imaginings, because you know there are just going to be special edition colored versions. And
Pikachu version. But yeah, those controllers are actually called Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that's a silly name for a controller.
It sounds like, as Jim Sterling said, Decepticon name or something. It's like Transformers.
It sounds like a deranged sex toy to me. Joy-Con? Come on.
Rub your nipples. It's like, oh yes, you like that, don't you? Joy-Con.
It reminds me of that weird peripheral that came with Res back in the day in Japan only. But let's not get into that.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna have a Pro controller similar to what the Wii U has. I don't know if controllers are backwards compatible like how they are for the Wii U and Wii. That would be nice if I could use my Wii U Pro controller on the Switch instead of buying another controller.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, I guess. I mean, if it's not backwards compatible with the Wii U or the 3DS, then it may well just be, throw out all your old stuff, get the new one. Remember, they're not even manufacturing new Wii U's anymore in favour of this thing.
Yeah, what I liked about the Wii U was it had a lot of compatibility with the Wii. I could use all my controllers from the Wii on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I like to hope that at least, like I said, at the very least, that Pro controller that I bought for the Wii U would work on the Switch.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, really. Nintendo said they're not going to be releasing any more official information until next year.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I know, right? That's annoying.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to us, Nintendo? You got me interested, and then...
I really want Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Did you see that video I linked?
I did not. I saw that you linked one. I never got around to actually watching it. So
it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I just want to play Monster Hunter on the Switch.
Yeah, Monster Hunter always comes up in our show, but
that
would be awesome. And this is the other thing
Capcom was guaranteed. Sorry, but Capcom did pledge support for the thing, so Monster Hunter is actually a possibility on that thing.
So yeah, that was another big marketing thing that they were doing. They showed the support of what this console has.
They showed Skyrim running on it.
Yeah, like in the trailer. Funny enough, Bethesda hasn't come out and said, yeah, it's going to be on the Switch yet. Like people were asking, and they're like, no, we're not announcing anything yet. And it's like, but you're in the trailer. Like, it'd be really weird if you don't actually have a game on the Switch. Because to me, that was Nintendo trying to show how powerful their console was by playing what I'm assuming is Skyrim Enhanced Edition. Is that what the new one's going to be called?
I believe it was Special Edition or something, but that's out this week too, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially pretty much having PlayStation 4, Xbox One upgrade graphics. Like the PC pretty much already has this with mods and all that type of stuff, but it pretty much making Skyrim pretty and sexy.
Yeah.
That, to me, in the trailer, that's Nintendo trying to say our console is at least with par with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, maybe. Because we don't have any specs for it, so we don't know at this point.
Yeah, for me, we know Nvidia's doing the graphics card, though.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Nvidia's doing the graphics card, so to me, like, that's a good thing.
That's always a good sign. Nvidia are the better graphics card manufacturer.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, Nintendo doesn't necessarily need all that horsepower anyway, because all their games that they focus more on gameplay than graphics, and even without this major horsepower, they've made some really beautiful games.
Yeah, like nowhere is it more apparent than on Nintendo machines that art style always triumphs over technical power.
That's exactly it. The only reason why the Wii U is kind of failed is because it had no third-party support. So they didn't have enough games coming out on a regular scale? That's not right. Regular basis. Regular basis. Calgar, English teacher again.
Hey.
Yeah, they didn't have games coming out regular enough to keep it alive. Kind of like how I talked about StarCraft 2 in the esports scene.
Well, the thing that worries me, though, is the Wii U did show off a bunch of stuff that they were getting that was AAA stuff when it first came out. They had Darksiders 2, they had Mass Effect 3, they had a few other ones that were sort of like, hey, look at all this kind of, third-party support we've got. And then, those games came out, and then the third-party support dropped off very quickly. That could happen here. I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I think the reason why Nintendo stayed quiet for such a long time about their reveal, because they're giving developers plenty of time to get to play with it, and so they can make sure they keep their third-party support this time.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean it'll happen, though.
Yeah, well, as I said, they're trying their best. They've obviously realized that the weakness of the Wii U was that third-party support. That's why they showed us like the big picture, going, look at all our support.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it looks like, well, they'd probably have learned that from their 3DS as well. I mean, look at how many games are on the 3DS everywhere, and a lot of it is third-party.
Yeah, the 3DS is really nice, except for my broken one.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 3DS, the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo came out on that.
Yeah, I didn't play that. I was too busy playing the World of Final Fantasy demo.
Yeah, fair enough. I did play the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo.
Yeah.
And it goes for, well, the main part of it anyway, goes for roughly half hour or so.
Yeah.
And, you get to, you don't even really get to catch Pokemon until post-game in the demo. But you get to fight things, you get given your Greninja and you go stomp on stuff for a while because you're sort of given a level 35 Greninja and then the enemies are sort of 26, 27. You get to meet Team Skull. So that was fun.
Yep. Okay.
That was fun. I got to meet the new bad guys. They wanted to take my Greninja, and they learnt that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Your character name in the demo is Sun. That is your name. So
okay. Yeah. So yep.
you don't get to pick your character's appearance or male or female or anything. You're a boy named Sun. I don't know if that means you're going to be that. I don't know whether that character is going to appear as an NPC in the full game or what, but you somehow get the Ash Greninja from, you send stuff from the demo to the full version, including your Ash Greninja. So I don't know whether it's implied that you're supposed to be the same person, and that it's just they've removed the customization for the demo, or that, you've been sent this by Sun because reasons. I mean, we'll see how that goes. But playing the demo, went through, did one of the trial things, got to play the Pokemon Snap-esque minigame.
Oh yeah, how
So
was that?
that was all right. I mean, it was walk up to a spot where there's a Pokemon. You get a little exclamation mark. You get a little section where you use your sticks to aim your camera at the Pokemon. Hit the button, get a photo. The photo flash goes off, makes the Pokemon angry. It attacks you. You belt the shit out of it. You move on. Yeah, yeah, and basically the island trial challenge thing in that game is to get photos of 4 specific Pokemon. It was 2 of 2 specific types, and they're all Dragon type.
Okay.
And then you get a final boss battle against the Team Skull, one of the Team Skull admins. I can't
Yeah.
remember her name. She wasn't interesting enough to remember. She'll probably show up in the full game anyway. You get a lone use of a Pikachu with the Z move. So
Right.
so it's like shows off your Z move stuff. You get that. Your Ash Greninja gets to use your Greninja gets to turn into Ash form because it's part of its special abilities. When you beat a Pokemon in combat, it evolves into the Ash Greninja. It just increases its stats for the rest of the battle.
Oh, okay.
So that's all that does, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Post game, you talk to a few people, and then it's got some interesting timed stuff in it. So on certain days, events happen in the town, and you wander and talk to NPCs, and they'll give you stuff. I've already missed one of them, unfortunately. They are specific dates, so I might be able to rewind my 3DS clock and do it still. I don't know. Or it might be do it on this day or later, but I don't think it is all later because one of the events is this girl's like, oh, on the 11th of the 11th, I'm getting a ferry and leaving. Would you like to come and see me off? And I've gone, yes. So 11th of November, I should go and see her off, and she'll give me something that I can send to the full game.
Okay. Oh, fair enough.
You also get to ride a Tauros after that. You get given a Tauros to ride, and you can break rocks, and that's how you get access to like the post-game stuff, which includes a Pokemon capturing challenge, where
Right.
you get a bunch of Pokeballs, you get to catch some Pokemon, and then you have to hand all the Pokeballs and back and return the Pokemon. Like Pokemon you catch, you release back to the wild. So you don't get to keep any of it, which makes it kind of pointless.
Oh.
I can't remember. I think I did. If you catch enough in that challenge, then you do get some items to keep for the full version. And then there was another one where I went to a different area, used the Tauros to break some rocks, and that's interesting. We'll get to that in a moment. But use the Tauros to headbutt some rocks out of the way, go up to the top, and there's like an old guy up there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you've shown me the bond between you and your Tauros, blah, 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 blah. Here, have this for the full game. But it's funny, because it's just this old guy, and he introduces himself as, oh, me? I forgot to introduce myself. I'm a mysterious old man.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yeah, but he actually introduces himself as a mysterious old man. So I'm just like, what? Who introduces themselves like that? Yeah, I am mysterious.
I'm sorry, but this guy just sounds like Old Man Cave in Legend of Zelda going, it's dangerous to go alone, take this.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But that guy in the cave doesn't say, I'm a mysterious old man. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. No, he just says, take a sword. This guy's like, I'm a mysterious old man. Like, what? And he's like, oh, he also says, don't try to look for me. So I'm like, I hope he's in the full game and just keeps introducing himself as mysterious old man because that'll be fun.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot of characters in like the Pokemon games just introduce themselves as Scouts, Boy Scout, or
well, no, they don't.
Bug Catcher.
Well, they don't introduce themselves as Bug Catcher or Boy Scout though. It just says Boy Scout Andy, Fisherman Jimmy.
Okay, you win.
Actor Bob.
All right, you win. Fine.
Ace Trainer Calgar. But
No.
Elite Four. But yeah, it's so it was fun. I mean, it's Pokemon, but it's interesting because it points to how it's been confirmed by Nintendo that there are going to be no HMs or gyms in the full game.
No HMs?
Yeah,
Fuck
no
yes.
HMs. That means
no more HM whores.
Yeah, I can use my whole Lucha as nature intended to murder everything in sight.
That's always been a real pain in the ass. Just you have to give up a move just to have at least other move just to get progress.
Yes. Now it seems to be, and now having played the demo, it seems to be replaced by this rideable Pokemon thing. So that Tauros you're given, it's not part of your team. It's just a Pokemon you can ride, and so I was able to ride him around like I was cycling, except I was riding on a Tauros. And so his special thing, and each one has a special thing, it would appear. And his one was, he charges. So he charges through rocks. So there's your replacement for Rock Break or Strength or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
Rock Smash.
There it is. So I'd imagine I imagine it will be the same, like you get a Lapras or something with Surf and all that kind of thing, so they can do that. Now, I remember also reading that a few of the HMs that were actually useful as fight combos, and I think Surf is one of them, are being turned into TMs, so you do still keep some of them.
The ones that are actually useful, yeah.
Yeah, but you won't be using them to progress. You'll be using this rideable Pokemon system instead, which is cool. The interesting one is gyms. I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know, I feel like the gyms may be gone, but they'll probably be replaced by some other thing that'll pretty much be exactly the same.
Well, that's the thing, is it may well be replaced by this trial thing, because there was this, because that getting those photos in the demo was what they referred to as the island trial.
Yeah.
So, it might be that you have to go through a bunch of those for stuff. So, I remember reading some speculation in that there is no Pokemon League in the Alola region, and maybe what you're doing is potentially establishing one. Again, that's all wild speculation. It was somewhere I read, random on the internet I read that, so it may or may not be true. So, it'll be interesting to see. The other interesting thing is, data miners got a hold of the demo, because of course they did.
And they pretty much, for some reason, Nintendo, or sorry, not Nintendo, the Pokemon... Game Freak! I'm good at remembering developers. Game Freak, for some reason, in the demo, left the whole Pokédex on there.
Yeah, so if you were so inclined, you could see the entire Pokédex. And what I did, instead of looking at the whole Pokédex, was just look at what my evolution's final forms were.
Yeah?
I'm not getting Litten anymore. It stands up. It looks like those leaks from that random Chinese magazine were actually legit. So
I'm gonna look at this. Hang on, Litten final form. This isn't even my final form. And okay, I think I'm getting a few fan art ones.
Well, yeah, no, it looks like it may well have been the one from that Chinese league where it was standing and punching. It looked like it was another firefighting. I haven't looked in the full details, so take that with a League of Legends amount of salt. But yeah, the thing that does interest me, because I'm not going to go back and look through all of it, though I did see all the memes floating around about like the new Diglett with a beautiful, beautiful blonde wig. But
okay. Sorry, sorry to interrupt, because I'm a dickhead that way. The Litten, it's the one that you saw, it looks like a wrestler / cat. Okay, yeah, disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, and that means I'm not picking Litten anymore, which means now that, Poplio looks majestic and in third form, and the Rowlet looks awesome in third form, but it makes it not a choice at all, because I'm getting a Greninja from the demo, so it has to be Rowlet, because I don't want that stupid wrestling cat thing.
Yeah, I think looking for this artwork I've got here of Rowlet, the final form, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it looks sick, and so it means, I've got water covered already with my Greninja, and I don't want the stupid cat wrestler thing, so I'm going to go with Rowlet and get grass covered. And the other thing though is, if you buy the game before, I think it was January 11th, you get access to a Munchlax, and that Munchlax evolves into Snorlax, but it also comes with the item for Snorlax's Z-move.
Okay. Oh, yes.
So that also means that before the game has even come out, I've already decided half of my Pokemon squad.
Oh, nice.
But that's the problem though, because that means there's less room for my Palm Tree Executor and Hawlucha army. Like, what am I going to say? So now I'm going to have Hawlucha, Palm Tree Executor, that Snorlax, that Greninja, the Rowlet. I have one left as a floater.
Yeah, I'm just going to make up my team as I go, like I always do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I want the Executor because it's hilarious.
Greninja, he's a dragon type! Dragon type!
I love Greninja. Like, Greninja is one of my favorite of the new set of Pokemon, and I mean, I guess it's true for a lot of people. He's really, really popular. I mean, there's a reason he ended up in Smash as a separate character.
Yeah, it is cool.
I mean, no matter what I think of Smash, he ended up there, which means he must be popular. And then, yeah, I mean, I'll probably want that sixth slot to be a fire type because I want everything to catch on fire. But that also means my options are limited because I don't want that stupid cat.
Uh, that's disappointing. Like I like the look of the like a cat fire type, and then it looks like it's turning into just as you said, another firefighting.
Lytton was cool until he stood up.
I
And that's
saw
the
the.
thing is, there were plenty of memes where it's like, "Don't you dare stand up." Like, there's one where they photoshopped like duct tape on his front paws. Like, "Don't you dare stand." He stood up. He stood up.
Yeah, I saw some really nice, like just fan like art of like some possible versions of the final form. It's like those are better. Use those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh. Well.
I actually like the look of the owlet now. I guess I'm sticking to my grass types.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about poor decisions in terms of Wheaton, I think it's time for this week's Why Is This a Thing?
Why is this a thing?
And this week I'm going to talk about, well, it's another developer / publisher I really hate, but we've not talked about them on the show because they've not done anything topical.
Yes.
So, King.com,
Ew.
better known as the jerks behind Candy Crush.
Ew.
Now, as a game, I don't have a beef with Candy Crush, aside from the fact that it's derivative of every Match 3 that's ever come before and somehow managed to do better. What my actual problem with is the publisher, in that they steal ideas from other people, they hit it big with Candy Crush and then tried to trademark the word candy and took down a huge number.
Was it a Saga?
Candy and Saga.
Yeah,
Both. They did both. And tried to knock over a bunch of indie developers who didn't have the money to fight them. Because they're indie developers who, just getting by or whatever. So they don't have the money to fight them. So they took all their stuff off the store. It doesnn't matter if their other candy-themed game was out before Candy Crush. And they went after Banner Saga developers because there's brand confusion with the word Saga.
So
brand confusion with the word Saga because one is a deep turn-based RPG with a really interesting story about Vikings, and one is a game about matching fucking candy.
So why are we giving them the dignity of being talked about?
Well, why is this a thing? There's a fucking Candy Crush TV show coming out.
No.
You okay, dude?
No.
He's gone.
Let me just pick up my chair because I knocked it over in rage as I walked out my room. Okay, I'll put my headphones back on. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. That is stupid.
Yep.
What the hell can they do? Like.
Yep. Yep. So they're adapting it into a game show. They're making
a game show.
Yeah. So it's apparently going to be teams of people using their wits and physical agility to compete on an enormous interactive game board. So I feel like it's kind of like a big Candy Crush operated with your feet, almost like those giant keyboards that you step on to play music, I guess. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really go into too much detail other than it's Candy Crush, it's a TV show, you need to use your wits and physical agility. And I'm like, well, it's Candy Crush, so it's going to be bad.
Like game shows like that's still even a thing? I don't know.
There are some. I mean, if you look at Wipeout, which was, the American take on Takeshi's Castle, where they do silly stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at any Japanese game show, and there's a lot of silly stuff going on. I mean, there's also American Ninja Warrior, which is a thing, but that's a lot more serious. They actually do it performing feats of strength.
Right.
But most of the TV game shows that I've seen that that exist are, more mental or, trivia and things like that. The
Like,
ones that involve people moving around and doing silly things are usually kids shows,
yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the kid shows I used to watch when I was a stripping lad. Stripping? Ugh. Strapping lad.
Yeah, please
That's what I
don't
meant to
strip.
say.
Please don't strip ever.
I'm in my own room. I can do what I want.
But yeah, I don't know if there are still sort of TV shows like that. I mean, it's not like I've watched much TV of any kind. Like when I go visit my parents, I do occasionally see one of the game shows. Was it the Chaser, which is actually quite good. I quite like that one. That's a trivia.
Oh, I think I've seen that one too. That's quite good.
Yeah, it's actually a TV show that I would watch if I had a TV that connected to TV. Like, watch it while eating dinner or something. But, I don't care enough to do it. Anyway, Candy Crush is a TV show. It is being produced by the guy who did make Wipeout and Fear Factor. So that means that doesn't actually mean anything to me.
Yeah, as I said, I'm picturing a kids show, but
with adults.
But from the Wipeout and Fear Factor, I just don't see it.
Wipeout Fear Factor it was just the dude who did those who's doing this one. So, yeah. Now, this article that I picked this up from has pointed out that putting a video game into a TV game show isn't the first time this has happened. There was a game show called You Don't Know Jack. Now, that is also a video game trivia game, and I have one of them. And it's a comedy trivia game where half of the issue with answering your questions is figuring out exactly what they ask, because they ask the questions in very roundabout ways. And it's clever, but it also kind of a lot of the dialogue in is sort of this over-the-top zany thing. So, there's some cool stuff that has been that was a TV show at one point, and the other things in those Jackbox games like Quiplash and Fibbage and stuff could work really well as a TV show.
Well, those things are already basically they're already suited for those type of things already.
Well, those are party games, and they're things that you could see as a TV show. It would work. It would work in that format. Candy Crush, not so much, and I just wouldn't watch it on principle of, giving those people more money.
And I remember back when I was a kid, there was a TV show where it was literally it was just basically these kids answering questions, and then they go and they have competitions on arcade machines. There was one where they had to they played on one of the cycling games.
Yeah, no, I remember that. One of the motorbike ones.
Yeah, and the main one I think I remember the most, the game I remember most on that show, because I think they always finished with it, was Bubsy. Was it Bubsy?
I think I remember the show, and a lot of they had to answer questions and then go through a maze and stuff or something. I can't remember, but the final round was always the arcade motorbike game or Bubsy, or there was also Mario Paint, the fly spotting game in it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not completely unprecedented. It's just, why are you doing this for Candy Crush?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, aside from just the words Candy Crush being anathema to my senses,
it's stupidly popular. It's I guess
why they're doing it. That's why.
Well, it's not the number one app anymore. That more goes to Clash of Clans and is it Kings? The Clash games.
Yeah, or the Clash games. And Pokemon Go
by Supercell. And Pokemon Go's slowly dying out.
Yeah.
And I guess that's because they're not, as I said before, not releasing updates to improve the game. They slowly are, but it's nothing actually interesting. And they did a lot of damage before they actually started fixing it.
It's also not at the pace that mobile customers expect.
Yeah.
Mobile customers expect quick things now. Mobile customers are the most notoriously greedy people. But, well, let's move from TV to film, shall we?
Okay.
There's a new trailer for the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, I watched that. It was pretty good.
It actually restored my hope for the film, starting by not putting Kanye in the trailer. That decision they made for the first trailer to put Kanye West in it, and he managed to rhyme God with God in his song, which makes it somehow worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I am the God, or something like. Oh, fuck off. But like Kanye, just no. Why do you?
Hey,
Why are you
right.
a thing, Kanye?
Okay. Trailer. Talk about the trailer.
Yeah. Okay, so the new trailer showed a lot more story stuff. It showed off a little bit of the leap of faith in the Inquisition mode, which looked really freaking cool.
Yeah, apparently those leap of faiths are 100% real.
Yeah,
Like,
they did. They did the leap of faith, but they CG'd all of the surroundings.
Yeah, the surroundings are CG, but the height they jumped at is real.
They jumped. Yeah,
They really jumped.
Yeah, that's
obviously
nice.
It's a big cushions, but they jumped.
Yeah, they jumped. But yeah, I'm hoping like it didn't show the end of the leap of faith, so I'm hoping it's in a haystack. Like I just want to see it in a haystack, and I just want to see someone miss the haystack.
Yeah,
it won't happen, but
yeah, the in the Inquisition era, it looks really good so far.
Well, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Haha, I know I didn't. But yeah, so far it looks really good. I am a little disappointed when I heard that apparently it's 60% modern and 40% in Inquisition.
Yeah, that's pretty shit as far as I'm concerned. Like, no one plays Assassin's Creed for future jerk.
Yeah, essentially, like everyone hated Desmond.
That's because Desmond was a bland character.
Yeah, I suppose you could argue that it might be more interesting in the movie, like whoever this guy is.
Well, yeah, it's not Desmond, that's for sure.
See, I guess that's another cool thing. Since like Ubisoft or whoever makes Assassin's Creed, it's just Ubisoft.
It is Ubisoft.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I knew it was Ubisoft, but I was just wondering if another developer was actually there, because Ubisoft could just be the publisher. Anyway,
yeah, no, Ubisoft actually developed it's a first-party one for them.
Anyway, they pretty much created this thing where, like, they don't actually have a main character anymore that people will be expecting for the movie. Like, if you go see Tomb Raider, you have to see Lara Croft. You go see like when they make the Uncharted movie, it has to be Nathan Drake. And this one's like, no, we just want a guy that can be an assassin in this time period.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so
there are story reasons for why Desmond isn't around anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is, they can make their own story up. They don't have to follow the games. As long as they follow the game's, I guess, mythology, pretty much, they follow close enough that you go into a machine, it takes you to the past where there's an assassin's order.
Yeah,
and they have to fight
and they got to fight Templars. Yeah,
they have to fight Templars.
And it seems like that's what they've done with it. So I mean, I have some hope for it. At the same time, it's a video game movie, so it may well be just awful.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm much more inclined to see it now that there was another trailer that wasn't. Well, I mean, honestly, the first trailer wasn't that bad if you muted it. So, I mean. It's just that particular trailer. I mean, yes, I'm ripping on Kanye a lot, and that was coloring my view of the movie. But the question I was asking there was, if they've made the poor decision of putting Kanye West in a trailer about of a movie about assassins in the Spanish Inquisition, then what other poor decisions have they made? You know, and like. Sure, marketing team's different from the production team and all that, but they do talk to each other, so there was cause for concern. Here, it's sort of 180 that I'm much more interested in watching the film now.
Yeah, like I watch most of these video game movies anyway, even if they're good or bad. Like, yeah, no, I've got nothing else to add to that. Yeah, I'll pretty much just go watch it because I'm a whore.
Well, okay. Well, on that note, was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or shall we begin to wrap it up in a neat little package?
Did you want talk about Performance Matters?
Briefly, because we are starting to run over longish again.
Yeah, okay, let's have a quick look at this Performance Matters. Basically, voice actors for video games are going on strike, pretty much because they're not getting treated well enough.
Exactly. Now this has been running for a long time. I think this time last year they were in negotiations with to sort this out. It looks like the negotiations really broke down and nothing came of it, and as such they are actually going on strike. Now the thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, it's about getting more money and residuals and all that, and there is some of that. Like, there
is some of that.
They were
But
offered a pay
yeah,
rise and so on, but what they're wanting partly is residuals because that's something that voice actors don't get. And that's like, I've worked on this game and got paid $3 grand for it. It made the owners 3 billion or something like that. It's like, okay, fair enough, whatever. But the bigger situations here is how the voice actors have been treated in that they're expected to go in and work, 6 to 8 hour days with their voice, doing a lot of death cries and growls and screams. So you're doing a war game. There's going to be a lot of sound effects of you getting shot, or you screaming war cries, or screaming in fear, etc., etc., etc. That hurts your voice. That will damage your
like
throat.
just imagine if you go to karaoke and you're just singing all those songs all night. Like, you've ever had that session where you're just at the end of the night, your throat is really sore, and you might even start losing your voice. Imagine that for a voice actor that's doing that probably every day for 6 hours, like 8 hours, for a job.
Yeah, it's their job, and a lot, and yeah. So one of the things they asked for was for strenuous sessions, which are and by strenuous sessions, it is the screaming stuff, to be limited to 2 hours, which is reasonable because if they lose their voice and damage their throat from screaming all the time for their job, they can't continue to do their job. Their voice is their tool.
Ooh, I just thought of a good example. From the anime Excel Saga.
Yeah.
The original
Oh
voice
yeah.
actor, the original voice actor for Excel, she actually damaged her voice playing that character.
Yeah, she couldn't continue.
So that's just a good example of these people do need some safety and regulations better to look after themselves. Like, their voice is their job, it's their life, and they need to look after them.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing. And I believe I remember seeing a few tweets flying around from some of the voice actors because I follow quite a few voice actors on Twitter because it's an interesting field to me. It's not a thing that
Yeah.
I'd ever be able to do, I feel, but it's interesting. And one of the things was one of the video game company people, I'm not sure who it was, had straight up said during that negotiations, no one cares about you. If you don't do your job, we'll just find someone else. That's one of the reasons in the strike. Like, it's very clear that the contempt that some of the companies have. Apparently a bunch of the voice actors are planning on picketing EA. So, more power to them. They should, maybe not get a stupid amount of money or whatever, but they do need to at least be taken care of. They just want to be treated like normal actors, I guess, to a degree. Where if you're doing something dangerous or something that is hurting you, limit that. Safety first.
And also, I think I saw something about they also in negotiations trying to get stunt doubles for mocap.
Oh yeah, because some of the voice actors do their own stuff on mocap as well, and I mean, if it's all
Yeah,
stunty stuff, they can hurt themselves. You need to get
yeah.
someone who's trained in doing all these flips and things. You don't like you get the actors to do the movements for the normal stuff, and get a stunt person to do the triple backflip off a cliff.
Yeah. But yeah, just basically they need better rights. They're getting mistreated. I know how that is at work. Jesus.
Yeah, it's no good. So I hope it goes well for them.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely deserve it. Like, without voice actors, where would our games be today? Like, it's you could probably sit there and go, no, we don't need them. We used to be able to fine without them. But no, there's so many just
There
iconic
is some
voices and
there are some
just
great examples of really bad voice acting, and I'll put one of them into the show notes just to give an example of what happens if you have people who don't know what they're doing.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dynasty Warriors 3. That's always my go-to of it's so bad that it's funny, but at the same time it's like you don't want that in Uncharted 5.
I don't believe in magic.
Well, yeah. The other one I'll put in the show notes related to this is Will Wheaton last year, when this first started, put up a really good article pointing out a day in the life of a voice actor, and he actually puts up a sample of, say, fictional game there where here's a spreadsheet sheet of the lines you're going to do. And it's like, well, here, you do all these, and then, you're going to be drinking this herbal tea so you don't damage your voice, and blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, look, here's more tea, and blah, 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 blah. Because he's, like, constantly drinking this weird honey tea thing because it's the only thing that keeps his voice going for a single day of this stuff. And he needs to do this for 3 or 4 for a job. And a lot of the time, another one they brought up, though, is a lot of the time, you don't know what game you're recording.
Oh, yeah, like, they won't keep it secret, yeah.
Yeah, the game devs are so notoriously secret about what they're working on, or the publishers so much. The devs probably want to talk about it a lot. A lot of the developers, the coders themselves, want to talk about what they do, but they're not allowed to, for fear of losing their job. But it's like, a lot of them, it's like, I think one of the voice actors in Fallout 4 didn't know he was in Fallout 4, even after having acted it. Until it was, like, revealed later on.
That must be really interesting, just as an actor, like, to be like, I have no idea what I'm working on.
Yeah, and they just showed up to a studio, there's a mic with their lines on it, and that's it. Like, they're there, and, they've got the person supervising going, okay, now do this again, but more gruff, or do this again, but sadder, or whatever, right? And that's it. Like, they've got direction, but they don't know what they're in, and they don't know, like, what the context of their scenes are some of the times, which makes it even more remarkable how well some of them do it, if they've got no context for their scenes and still manage to nail it. Now, there are some exceptions to this, of course. For example, Troy Baker knew full well he was in The Last of Us, and, they needed to work him up for, the intro scene, because that was rather upsetting. And there's actually an interesting interview where it kind of ruined him to do that scene. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he was actually struggling with that. But,
oh, okay. I want to see that interview then.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
I'll see if I can find it. But he had a rough time doing that, and then they had to reshoot it, and he's just like, no, don't make me do that again.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that scene's powerful though.
Yeah, like it was the reshot version that was put in the end. It wasn't the initial version, so that's a thing. But yeah, it was just. But so in some cases you know what you're working on, but a lot of the time it is sort of only the top people like that. Nolan North and Troy Baker, they're in every second game, so they could pretty well guess a game and their names, and they're probably in it. And then you look at some of the other people, it's like they don't know what they're in until the game's announced. They're like, oh wait, that's my voice. Oh.
Oh. Yeah, can you imagine just working on something and then it's a terrible game? You're like, oh.
Yeah, but that's not the voice actor's fault. I mean, there was a game. There was a game I played called what was it? It was The Return of Matt. Eat Lead: The Return of Matt Hazard, and that game wasn't particularly good. I mean, it was parodying video games, and like your character is a washed-up video game character, and he was brought back for one final role, etc., etc. And it was the game itself, generic third-person shooter, was kind of glitchy, a lot of repetition. The thing that kept me powering through it was the comedy and the voice acting in it, because the bad guy was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was a big selling point for the game. It's like the game itself wasn't very good, but I finished it because like it was hilarious having having Neil Patrick Harris as a bad guy, and I did get to shoot him a lot. So yeah, it was a silly game, and it wasn't that great. But voice actors can turn that stuff around. Not necessarily single-handedly, but they have an effect.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, voice actors matter.
Yeah, that's a thing. And on that note, I think we should wrap up. I mean, I had a couple more things to talk about, but
we are way out of time. I think.
Yeah, and it wasn't that great. Like, there was one where there's rumors. I'm not sure if they're confirmed yet, but the Sleeping Dogs developer is apparently closed.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
That's upsetting. I never got around to playing Sleeping Dogs. I do own it, so that's a thing. But
yeah, I think I own it too. I should probably play it.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up then.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just wrap up with two little announcements. I think our discussion of the week should be: what do you think of the Nintendo Switch?
I was thinking it would be voice actors.
We have two topics.
Or what do you think of Doom's arcade mode?
Well, I guess we can find about this later when we're offline.
No, well, let's make it the Nintendo Switch because that's more that's topical. The Performance Matters will probably still be going next week, and
Like,
that's
and yeah,
now.
I was thinking of trying to find something that we might have actually some more different opinions. Because so far,
Yeah,
everything we've talked about, everyone's had the same opinions on it.
yeah, it's all a lot of people are very neutral on it. The VR one was kind of interesting in that,
And we had some big like some people putting up some pretty good posts about that one.
yes, we had some absolute essays written, like in particular Mitchell. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was rather well thought out, and yeah, though it's sort of everyone's sort of for the most part seems to be of the opinion that we need software to back up what the tech's showing us. So
yeah.
that's about right. Interestingly, the discussions for the VR also got very fragmented across various shares on Facebook and stuff.
Perhaps we
And
should start using hashtags to connect them all.
perhaps, though, I'm not sure how well hashtags work on the Facebook. So, and I don't want to do it on Twitter because the aim of this is to have discussion rather than you've got 140 characters.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I think the hashtag. Well, you can always try it out. It's not like it's going to change anything.
yeah, we'll pop in a hashtag. I'll think of something. A couple of other admin points. I've been slowly going through and changing the account names slash website links to remove the dashes to make it easier for you guys to find us. YouTube's one hasn't taken yet. Apparently, it takes 24 hours to update. The Facebook page has been done, and I'll be updating the SoundCloud one as this goes up so as not to break the most important new episode link.
Sweet.
On top of that, I'm also going to announce right now the next few videos that I'm doing. So
Yep.
this week, expect probably on Thursday, you'll see a Civilization 6 sort of here's an idiot explaining to you how Civilization 6 works. But the more interesting one, or the one that'll be a bit more expertly thing, is Wednesday evenings. I'm thinking 8 o'clock. Until the game is completed, I'm going to be doing a full run through of Bloodborne, DLC included, start to finish.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been wanting to play the DLC for quite a while, but when I got for whatever reason something distracted me. I think it was Dark Souls 3 probably, but at this point, I don't think I could go into the DLC and have a chance, so I'm going to play it from the start on my Australian account because my American account's kind of bloggined at this point, so there's going to be no messages, no summoning players. It'll be entirely solo, start to finish, DLC included, of Bloodborne, Wednesdays 8 p.m, streamed onto YouTube, and yeah, so come say hi and watch me own and get owned.
Oh, that sounds interesting. So while we're at announcing upcoming videos, I will be doing a thing, most likely starting this Friday, but all for the next 2 weeks after this week, I'm on holidays, and I've got a new RPG. I got a new RPG to play. World of Final Fantasies. Final Fantasies, interesting, plural there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be streaming that pretty much the whole time I'm on holidays. My goal is to finish that game within my holiday time.
And stream the whole thing.
I'm going to stream the whole thing. So
Wow.
I don't know what times it'll be. It'll pretty much be when I get up until I go to bed, hopefully. I'll probably have some breaks here and there, but just keep an eye out on our Facebooks and Twitters and stuff, because I'll announce it. Maybe I'll try and probably announce it in half an hour to an hour before I actually start up.
Yep, mine. I'm setting it as an actual weekly thing at the Wednesday at 8, so that'll be a time to tune in for Bloodborne, and I will be kicking Paul off the stream so that I can do my Bloodborne thing.
Ow!
Yep, that'll be your time to have a break and get some dinner.
Ow!
Well,
But I'm trying to kill myself.
Please don't.
Okay.
Okay, also, my Twitter is Kalgar, Kalgar.
My Twitter is Magaslite. I know it's confusing. At Magaslite. I might look into getting a new one to replace it with Thundermace, because I like Thundermace more, but that's for later.
Yeah, that's the thing we should probably elaborate on. So, Paul has multiple online names, and he started this podcast while using Megaslate. He wants to actually use Thundermace. That's how it's going, right?
Well, I started with using both because it was confusing. But I'm trying to use Thundermace more because I like that one more than Magaslite. Also, Magaslite is game I can't get as often on other sites because it has the word clit in it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, so one last Twitter we have now.
Yes, we now also have an official Twitter for the Inconsolables, which is just Inconsolables. INCONSOLEABLES. Just Inconsolables. No dashes, no nothing, because I learnt from my mistakes. Believe it or not.
Excellent.
So those are things. So follow us on the Twitter, like and share our posts and all that, so more people can get to hear us, please.
Love, love, love.
Yep. And yeah, on that note, we are the Inconsolables. Bye!
Fare thee well.